Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transports. This is the second time I did my video. My first one was just way too long. I just got off on the mouth. Anyways, I'm in Sparks, Nevada, and I picked up in Bernie, California yesterday. Today is Thursday. Yesterday morning, I left Sacramento about 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning. Got over to Bernie. It's going down to Arizona. Heavy load, maxed out, no tarp, just straps. Paying pretty decent. Going down right to the Mexico United States border in Douglas, Arizona. So yesterday I pick up, I'm rolling, and my truck was kind of making like this noise, like almost like a vibrating, but then it would go away. But it started happening more often. And I was just like, man, I really don't. I'm thinking a U-joint, and I looked underneath the truck several times. U-joints look good. I'm thinking, shit, it might be my power divide. I'm sure the power divide in this truck is original to the truck. The truck's got probably over 2 million on the chassis. Excuse me. So anyways, I'm rolling yesterday in Cali, and I'm going through Reno. I'm on 395 southbound, and my truck starts making like this funny, like a humming, like a roaring noise, and it started vibrating. And I've already been when I drove a truck for a guy before I got my own authority. I had a problem. I took one of his driver's trucks because he went like AWOL. He went on some drinking binge. And I had to take his load in his truck to California, an oversize. And the truck, all of a sudden, after I deliver in Cali, it makes like this loud noise, and then it's a shit show from there. It's just vibrating like violently, like super loud in the cab. It was just unbearable. And so he had me go to the shop. He was trading the trucks in, but it was really slow going up hills. So he thought maybe it was a turbo. Went to a shop guy to use turbo, put that on. That wasn't the problem. So I ended up getting it back to the yard. And the mechanic there, where he rented to store his equipment, said it was a bad U-joint. So I know what it's like to be in a truck with a bad U-joint. Excuse me. So just got done with a Shure. And so I'm saying to myself, I'm like, shit, it's probably a U-joint, but I don't really want to pull over on the side of the road and take a look at it because there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just like hoping that I can get to Sparks or to Reno area, because then at least I'm in a larger city where I can get parts. I didn't know if I could do it on my own, whatever the case is. So I did make it to Sparks, Nevada yesterday, late afternoon, and I get up underneath the truck and I start rotating the drive shaft. And if you don't know what the drive shaft is, you need to know what a drive shaft is. I had a buddy of mine say, "Oh, you can work on your stuff because you've been working on stuff since you were a teenager." I swear to God, I didn't start working on trucks until I got trucks. I didn't even, I knew the basics, where's an alternator, where's the starter, stuff like that on a regular vehicle, but I never did anything to my vehicles. Ever, 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 ever. I've been force-fed it, and I've taken a crash course on working on our stuff. So we've been through 5 mechanics that have all been huge, enormous turds, minus Cody Alexander, which watches my videos. What's up, brother? And my wife, hi baby girl, I love you. She was like, why are we wasting all this money on guys that just don't either want to work or don't know what they're doing or are just lying and getting paid and whatever. So I'm venting, sorry. So I had a crash course on how to do stuff myself. Now, so I get up underneath the truck, I'm rotating the drive shaft, and I'm looking at the U-joints, but the U-joints don't look bad. And I'm like, damn, what the hell? But I can hear like this, like, it didn't sound good from the power divide, okay? Here, I'll show you. If you guys don't know what a power divide is, I'll show you what a power divide is. I wouldn't say long story short, but so I get up underneath there. I'm rotating the drive shaft. She's got a lot of play in it. She doesn't sound good. I'm like, oh my God, please don't tell me it's a power divide. I did the rear differential in this truck on my own at our shop. I did videos on it. You can go back and look at my videos. But I didn't do the power divide because the power divide seemed like it was good. The power divide is like, that's like your main, minus your transmission, that's like your main drivetrain. It's crucial to the truck. You know, the if you're changing, like right here, if you flip that switch to engage your second axle, that's what the power divide does. Okay, so I'm in panic mode. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to get a power divide put in this truck. You know, you're looking at $5,000 if you can even find somebody to do it. How long is it gonna be? So I'm in panic mode. I'm reaching out to my guy Jose in Barstow. I'm thinking, well, shit, I got my trailer disconnected. I can bobtail. It's like 420 miles from Sparks, Nevada to Barstow, California. He actually is in the midst of moving his shop because the new owners wouldn't renew his lease. So they're cleaning out his whole shop and everything. And I'm like, oh my God. So I know he can't take his service. He would take his service truck from Barstow to here for me because we've done so much business with him with other, you know, business and trucks and stuff like that. But I didn't want to put him on the spot and say, hey, listen, man, you know, I know you're in a bind, but I'm in a bind. You know, which binds are, you know, his bind is obviously greater than mine because if he doesn't get out of his shop at the end of this month, he's going to lose $25,000 for a security deposit. So I didn't want to put that on him. So my plan was, well, I started calling around to mechanics all around here. Nobody was answering. Nobody would do it, whatever the case is. So now I'm reaching out to Jose. I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to have to bobtail from here, Sparks, Nevada to Barstow, California, and leave my trailer here and risk breaking down on the road. But I was like, what am I going to do, right? So I text him, I call him, he doesn't answer. I text him, he doesn't. I'm like, now I'm even more of a panic mode. So I finally get a hold. I'm calling. This guy picks up. His name's Jim. He says, yeah, we do stuff like that. However, we're really backed up. He says, but you can call this guy. I know his name's Aaron. And he's got a company here, a shop here in Sparks called Axle Line. Actually, I have his card right here. If you guys are ever in a bind that I'm currently in, call this guy here. Super great guy. He didn't talk down. I mean, I actually thanked him. I'm like, you know what, Aaron? I said, thanks for not being a douchebag like these other mechanics that, you know, that they just treat you in like shit and they talk down to you or whatever the case is because they think they're God's gift to this planet and they know everything, right? So he's not that guy. Young dude too, and owns his own shop. But he's like, you know, he said, I can't get you until next week. He said, but if you can disconnect the truck from the trailer, I said, I already have. He said, drive it on over if you want. We could take a look at it, see what kind of rear end it is. So I do. And he crawls up underneath the truck, and the guy's not afraid to get dirty. And he's rotating the drive shaft. He goes, yeah, something doesn't sound right. He goes, but your U-joints, because I replaced the carrier bearing in this truck myself. He said, your carrier bearing looks good. The transmission, everything looks good. He said, but I don't like the noise coming from your power divide. All of a sudden he goes, oh, there it is. So he saw what I didn't, because my truck, when I was looking underneath the truck and rotating the drive shaft, I didn't go all the way back to the second axle, and my trailer was hooked up to the truck, so I couldn't see it from above. Well, anyways, this is what he saw. Beautiful day here in Sparks. It's a little chilly, but so if you don't know what a power divide is, that's your power divide right there, okay? And that goes to your first axle. Then your second axle has a differential. That's the one that I replaced in my shop. Now what he saw was, I'm not going to get all the way back there because I don't want to get dirty. I got tan pants on. That U-joint, that's a U-joint. And you can see how discolored it is. Because it got hot, because it's bad. And so Aaron over at Axle Line, he checked. He goes, "Yeah, they're gonna make me a." So if you look back here, I don't know. I'm sure you can. There's you see that? There's a short axle that goes from the rear differential into the power divide, and there's a short axle right there. He said that the short axle they're gonna make me one. We'll see. So he said that get inside so this guy's idling on his truck so you can hear me better. So he said that they're gonna make me a short drive shaft, not axle. Sorry. They're gonna make me a short drive shaft because the part that goes from the rear differential into the power divide, it's leaking right there. He said he didn't like that. He said, so we're gonna make you up one. So he took a measurement. This was yesterday late afternoon, and he said, you know, we're gonna make it for you. We'll see if we can squeeze you in today. So that's a huge relief. And he's going to replace the U-joint or whatever the case is. He said he didn't like the angle that the short, not axle, why do I keep saying axle? That the short drive shaft, he didn't like the angle of it for some reason. So I don't really know what that means. But anyways, when I was in panic mode yesterday, there was a guy on YouTube that, because I've been in a truck, in one of our trucks, that I was in Castle Rock, Colorado. This is years ago, and I was in the hammer lane, and the truck just died. Well, it didn't die running wise; it just died in motion. It was still running. Called this guy. We had an extra one at our shop, so Cody and this shitbag Greg Horsfall, if you know him, he's a piece of garbage. They jumped in our pick. Well, I told him to take our shop truck, but he took his truck. And they put it in the back of his pickup and they drove it down. And I asked the guy, is it okay if we bring one from our shop? He said, yeah, absolutely. So they pulled the old differential, the old power divide, put in our other power divide that we had gotten from another truck, and they replaced it. And the guy only charged me $1,200 for the tow, because I had to get towed off of the interstate, and I was heavy. I was like almost maxed out. When he hooked it up and started going into gear, he's like, man, you're heavy. So with the tow and the shop work was only $1,200. And he was a big tall dude, and I said, man, can I give you a hug? He goes, I like hugs. So I gave him his big ass hug. I'm like, dude, I cannot thank you enough. And he said that his dad, because I'm a vet, his dad was also a vet, or is also a vet, and he's like, go, just pay for the parts, don't charge him any man hours, whatever the case is, and fuck the tow. So that was super cool. And that's why I make these videos, to pay it forward, man, because I've been helped enough in my life. I've struggled a lot, but I've also been helped enough. And he said that they had this guy from Castle Rock. They had a big wrecking company. They had a bunch of tow trucks, and he said that they had bought or they were bringing back a fire truck that they had bought from the East Coast to Colorado, and the power divide went out on it, and it was like $10,000. The mechanic charged them to do that. Was just for the power divide, not even the labor. He said when the guy just took advantage of them and juiced them, and that's the problem that we have on the road is, we're at everybody's mercy. If you do what I do, we're at the mercy of everybody. We're at the mercy of DOT cops, regular highway patrol, regular traffic, the weather, mechanics, the truck stops, the fuel. We're at the mercy of everybody in this industry, and it's so pathetic that people would actually take, I'm venting. I'm sorry. I get back to the point of the video. So the point is, he said that, I vow to never take advantage of anybody in that situation. He says, we do well enough as a company. I don't need to take advantage of people in your situation. So that was really super cool. I'd still just, it sticks in my head, like, what a great human being But anyways, I'll tell you a story. Well, it's a story because I don't know it to be true, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know why the guy would lie about it. So I met this guy, Luis, over at Jose's shop in Barstow. Super great guy. Also was a truck driver. And he said that this was a couple of years ago, he had mentioned this to me. He said, yeah, he had a U-joint on his truck. Just blew right off the truck. He was he was in Las Vegas or near Las Vegas, and he was getting back on the interstate, and he was almost to full speed, and he heard this noise, and he just heard this boom, and this bouncing around, and then pew, he saw this piece shoot off from underneath his truck. The U-joint, while he was, that thing spins so fast. I mean, who knows what the RPMs on that thing are? Just fast, right? The RPMs just super fast is all I can say. And he said that the thing, it blew out his one of his fairings, did all this damage to some airlines underneath there. And he said, thank God there was no vehicles near me. He said, because it could have killed somebody. And that was going through my mind yesterday when I'm driving, because I thought it was bad roads at first. But 70 miles of bad roads, I was like, that's impossible. And I'm thinking, oh, well, geez, you know what? And I'm thinking it's a U-joint. It's a U-joint. It's got to be a U-joint. But when I crawled up underneath the truck and didn't see a U-joint, I'm like, oh, my God, it's my power divide. But Aaron, he's pretty reassuring that it's just that the U-joint that's in the back there I showed you and that short drive shaft. So I'm sure that's not going to be cheap, but it's not going to be power divide expensive, right? But when I was in panic mode, I was looking on YouTube videos, and this guy actually did a nice video, and you don't need to pull your power divide. There's actually a whole gear kit you can buy. It's like $1,300 that you just take off. You got to take your drive shaft off and take off the front cover and get in there and pull all the gears, the spider gear. And then he did a cool way on how to pull one of the bearings on this piece that you need. It was very, very, and he's like, oh, you can do this on the side of the road or, in a parking lot. I'm thinking, dude, there ain't no way I can do. I mean, maybe if I had to, but he had a vise and stuff. I don't have a vise. So, but anyway, so he's probably talking for like a service truck, not like a regular driver without, the standard tools that you need for this stuff. But anyways, and I carry tools, but I don't carry an impact, which I really should start carrying an impact. But anyway, so the point being is, when you're in panic mode, you're in panic mode. I mean, you're going to think of ways that, shit, I got to do this. I might have to do this. And again, you're at everybody's mercy. So anyway, so when I got over to Aaron's shop, he was like, yeah, it's the U-joint. And he's like, thank God that, well, he didn't say thank God. He said, you're lucky that you didn't keep going and you'd be dead on the side of the road. Well, we have I think it's Great West Casualty, or I think is, hold on one second. The reason why I'm looking at my insurance company is because you guys, hold on. We only pay $689 a month for a $250,000 coverage. However, we've been, well, I'm not going to jinx myself, but we've earned the right to have, we have $250,000 on our where the hell is my damn insurance? Oh, right here. We have can't read it. I don't have my damn hold on one second. I gotta grab my reader. Yeah, so it is. It's Great West Casualty is who we have. And we've earned the right to have cheap, and we have $250,000 on the cargo and $1 million on the liability, like everybody else. But anyways, the point that I'm showing you the company is there's only that company and another company, I believe, that actually, if you break down on the side of the road and need a tow, we pay an extra, I think it's $20 or $30 a month. And if we break down on the side of the road, say for instance, and they cover us up to $5,000 for a tow. You can tow it anywhere. if you want to, if you choose to, that it's going to, you know, you can tow your equipment up to $5,000 worth, they will reimburse you the $5,000. You just have a $250 deductible. And I know this because we've done it twice now. And it's a great company. I mean, they're like the Rolls Royce of insurance companies. And there's also like a roadside assistance. There's a hotel reimbursement. There's all kinds of stuff, because when the motor went in this truck and they had to pull the whole motor, they reimbursed us for the tow, hotel stay, stuff like that. The hotel's up to like $1,000 or $1,500 or something like that. So it's not a shit ton of money, but the tow is worth it for $20 or $30 a month. That is phenomenal. So, you know, that was kind of in the back of my head. Well, we're kind of covered as far as that goes, but it's the whole inconvenience, right? And then are they, you know, will they tow you from wherever you break down a spark? So I probably went about, with complete stress and worry yesterday, about 100 miles. And I was like, please, 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 just get me to Sparks, get me to Reno, get me to that to the Petro in Sparks, because it's a big city. I know I can get parts. I'm not, you know, in little bumpfuck Egypt or something where they got to ship in the parts or something like that, and add to the stress. So I just wanted to do a video on this, because if you don't know the symptoms of a bad U-joint, you should if you watch this video, because that's the symptom. Is you're going to get some serious vibration and a lot of noise. And it was, when I was accelerating, it wasn't, but when I was coming down a hill, I had my Jake on, it wasn't too bad. But when I would start hitting the accelerator, speeding up, man, this thing would shake so violently, man. And just the noise that came from it, I'm like, oh my God, man. And I got this thing, like, is this thing going to fly off? Because I got cars all around me. I'm like, I just don't want to hurt anybody. I got grease on my damn chin. No. Anyways, I wanted to do a video on that so you guys will know the symptoms of a bad U-joint. And if you don't know what a U-joint, you do now, because I just showed you. Or you need to Google, what is a U-joint, what is a drive shaft. And you know, I'm self-taught on this. That's the reason why I created this channel, so I can help other people that were in the same bind as me. Like, you watch these videos and nobody explains things, right? So I know I'm just kind of gabbing or whatever, but it's important to have yourself some tools and a shop and whatever the case is. And we, you know, we only had one truck and one trailer, I think, when we got our shop or something like that. And so you don't need, you know, we're nobody, but you don't need 10 trucks and 10 trailers and stuff like that. You know, our shop probably costs us $2,000 a month, and it's a big shop. It's a nice shop. You know, we probably got 50 grand in tools in there, you know, with the impacts and the toolboxes and the welder and all that shit. But it's definitely, those tools have paid for themselves already, and the amount of years that we've had them and the amount of work that I've done on myself. And like I said, we've been through 5 mechanics, and we're all shitbags minus Cody Alexander, which was the least experience of all the guys. So anyways, brother, I really appreciate you. But anyways, so that's why I'm doing this video, so you guys can know the symptoms of what is a bad U-joint. Because if you have a bad U-joint and it breaks on the side of the road, you're dead in the water, and you're going to have to get towed. I mean, unless they come and they fix it on the side of the road, which is going to be, you know, quite a bit of money. So if you do have that symptom, know it beforehand so you can get to a truck stop, shut down, and either fix it yourself or find another mechanic, a local mechanic, to fix it. So anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know what a bad U-joint is and feels like. So please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.